Quick walk around video of my newest airplane. This is a Vans RV14A, and the A signifies that it's a traditional tricycle instead of a tail dragger. But anyway, this is a 2017. It was built down in Florida. The gentleman that built it really did a good job. It's got some interesting qualities to it. The first thing that's interesting about this airplane is the fact that it has air conditioning. It has this serpentine belt engine-driven air conditioner, which is really nice with this big cowling up here that is a big greenhouse effect. And the air conditioner, the condensing unit and the evaporator unit is right here. So the condenser lies in the bottom there, which is pretty neat. And that was designed in a wind tunnel by Airflow Systems. And it doesn't seem to slow down the plane much, maybe 2 or 3 knots at the most. I'm getting about 168 knots true at 10,000 feet. But I'm also told that that's a good design because no air ever enters the cockpit or the fuselage at all, like traditional or other systems do. Most systems have a cutout here where air comes in and then it can enter, so you could get carbon monoxide in. So this eliminates that possibility. And then you see the louvers on the back of it. Anyway, it's really got really nice paint on it. It's pretty simple systems. This particular airplane has a full G3X dual screen with the 507 controller for the autopilot, and it even has a yaw dampener for the vertical, which is nice because it doesn't have rudder trim. So if you're flying without that, you are flying crooked. So no rudder trim, nice to have that. He did some also nice other things like this built-in battery charger, which I highly recommend. You just plug it right in, and he also installed a Tannis heater, which is nice. It has a backup alternator. You can't see it, but it's got a plain power backup alternator that runs off the accessory pad, and then a belt-driven alternator on the front. And then it also has a battery backup system, the TCW, I think it's called IBBS. And that is actually pulled out of the plane right now. I noticed it wasn't working, so I took it out and sent it to Bob there, super nice guy. I had one in my glass here previously too. But the inside of the plane, I know it's kind of hard to see, it's washing out. But like I said, it has dual G3X with a G5 backup, and then the GTN 650. And the air conditioner controls are down low there. Just a switch you turn on with a rotary for the fan. And then he also, kind of nice, put dual USBs on both sides of the plane. Plus he put a 12-volt DC and a music input down here, which is nice. And then the air conditioner vents come out here for the pilot and passenger, and then it has vents in the back too if you want to keep stuff cool in the back, and that's where the evaporator is for the airflow, get your cool air. This here I'm going to be demonstrating in a video too. This is an Inogen G5. It makes oxygen available up to about 16,000 feet, a little portable unit. So I'm going to be testing that today, and I'll give a demonstration on that. This also has Smart Glide, which is just a software upgrade to the G3X. I'll be demonstrating that today. So, got my little Garmin Verb Ultra 30 up there on the canopy ready to go. And some people asked, why did I get rid of the glass air? Well, my wife couldn't fly it. That was the problem. The glass air was super fun. That airplane was 210 knots on about 11 to 12 gallons an hour. This airplane's 168 to 170 knots on 9.5 gallons an hour. So about the same efficiency really as far as nautical miles per gallon, even though this one has fixed gear. And the fixed gear is the game changer. This airplane, the glass air, had a skinny, longer wing. This thing's got a fat wing. I mean, look at that, how fat that wing is. And it's stubby and short too, which is interesting. Well, I've got very little time in this, and I thought, man, this thing will fall like a brick. This thing is like a glider. even with the gear down and that fat wing, stubby little wing, it just glides and glides and glides. It's almost hard to put it on the ground. So you rotate in this plane at 65, which in the Glacier I did too. You rotate at about the same speed. The difference is this thing immediately wants to go northbound at 2,000 foot a minute, and it accelerates to 100 knots immediately. The Glacier, until you got the gear up, you were in no man's land for about the first 10 to 15 seconds. If the engine quit and the gear wasn't up, you had no choice to put the nose down and take what you got. This airplane, it's amazing how it just keeps going up, up, and up. So very easy to fly, very docile. It still has light controls. You know, you fly at 2 fingers, but it's much easier to fly than the Glacier. So this also, the Glacier had the traditional G3X non-touch, no smart glide. This smart glide, I'm hoping I can teach my wife how to at least get to the airport and get her landing it. It's just more docile. I think she'll be able to handle it. I've also had if you watch my videos, I had a TR-182, which I had her flying. The thing is, that airplane was a little too complex to her, again, with the retractable gear, the turbocharged engine, and it had the Dynon system in it, which I really liked, but it didn't have the smart glide, and it wasn't as intuitive to me as what the Garmin was. Great system. I sold that plane to a buddy of mine down in Florida. He loves it. He's getting great use out of it. Also, it's usually just me and my wife at the most, and a lot of times just me. So I really only need 2 seats. And if you do the math, you know, the 182 was, 13 gallons an hour, 13 and a half. And you had to get up to 17,000 foot to get above 165 knots or so. Down low around 10,000 foot, it was 152, 150 knot plane. So at the same altitudes, this airplane's almost 15 knots faster than the TR-182 on about 4 gallons less per hour. So it's very efficient. I can do a 900 nautical mile trip to Florida and back on about $500 of fuel, whereas the TR-182 would have been about $800, which isn't significant, but you do that 15 times a year, it adds up. And the insurance on this is really cheap. I think I got $250,000 on it, and I think it was 20 with $1 million liability, total $100,000 per seat. And I think it was like at $2,300 or $2,400, which the 182 wasn't any more than that, but I think I only had it insured for $200,000. So this is a cheap airplane to insure. The maintenance is virtually nothing on this. It's all simple aluminum construction, very simple systems. It's surprisingly roomy inside, plenty of room in there. Again, I'll take it up and demonstrate it and put that on a separate video, but very nice flying plane. Can't stress how easy it is to fly. So for the average person that only needs 1 or 2 seats, I don't think you can get much more efficient or comfortable. And the view out this canopy is amazing. It's cut real low down here. The Glacier was more up here. You had just a little vision out the Glacier. You have vision or a view here that's incredible. So really, really, really nice plane to fly and very comfortable. No bad habits I can find so far. And again, I've only got about 4 or 5 hours in it. But we will go up today and do a little demonstration video of the, we'll be working on the G3X, show how that works in this airplane. I'll run the air conditioner. We'll also use the Inogen G5. We'll see how that does. I have a pulse oximeter ring on that is going to measure my SpO2 levels the whole time, and we'll see how it does. So we'll be checking in with you in just a little bit.